Welcome to VideoTutorial.net's course on Autodesk Inventor 2009. First, let's go to File, select New. Now select the file standard.ipt. This extension, IPT, is an Autodesk Inventor part file. Now if you prefer, you can use metric units. Simply go to the Metric tab. Next, you can specify the location of the project file by clicking the Project button. Click Browse to specify your location. When you're done, click Done. The project file manages the relation between the various Inventor files you'll be creating, for example, part files, drawing files, assembly files, and so on. The project file is a tool for helping you managing your numerous project files effectively. It's particularly helpful, for example, when you're dealing with files in different folders, etc. Let's click OK at this point. We'll be covering file management in more detail in later videos in this course. Now let's go and change some settings. Let's select Tools from the main menu and then Application Options. In the Color tab, we can adjust the color scheme. For the background, we can select a single color. We can select a gradient or a background image. Now let's go to the Sketch tab. Here I can opt to display grid lines, minor grid lines, and axes. Let's click Apply to see how the graphic area looks without grid lines. And let's restore the grid lines now. Apply. Let's restore the minor grid lines as well as the axes now. Apply. If Coordinate System Indicator is checked, the origin point will be displayed in your graphic area. Let's uncheck this box and then Apply and Close. Now let's go to Tools again, but this time we'll select Document Settings. Click on the Units tab. In my case, I'll be using inches, imperial measurements for length. Under the Angle drop-down menu, let's choose Degree. OK. One more thing, let's go back to Tools, Application Options. Let's select the Part tab. Let's look at the new part creation control area. You see that I've got Sketch on XY plane checked. Because I have this box checked, I ended up in the sketch mode on the XY plane. A Sketch 1 was already pre-created for me when I created this new part. Next in the panel bar, I'm going to select the Line tool. Let's create a simple shape here. Something like this. After I've finished, I can press the Carriage Return or Enter button on my keyboard. I can also simply right-click and select Done. Now I'm going to use the Extrude tool. I can click on the command here, or I can press E on my keyboard. Let's rotate our model a little using the View cube. Here we can specify the extrusion parameters. And when I'm ready, I click OK. To rotate our part, we can use the Orbit tool. Let's check out the Orbit tool. There's another way to do this. We can use what's called the View cube. We simply place the mouse in the region of the cube and then click. I'd like to remove the compass from the View cube right now. Right-click Options and then uncheck Show Compass and click OK. By clicking on Home, we'll go to an isometric view. To make modifications to the sketch, I can right-click on the sketch in the browser and select Edit Sketch. Let's make some minor changes. Now when I'm finished my changes, I click Return. Inventor accepts my update. Since we're working in a parametric environment, the shape of our solid has changed automatically. To edit a feature, let's check Extrusion 1 in this case. I right-click on the feature in the browser and select Edit Feature. Let's make some minor modifications. We'll be learning more about this Edit dialog window later on. We click OK. Inventor accepts our update. Now to create a new sketch, let's say on this face, I can simply right-click and select New Sketch. As an alternative, I can click on the Sketch button in the toolbar. Let's select Undo. And let's deselect everything in our graphic area. Let's create another sketch. We'll press the Sketch button again. Now I need to specify the sketch location. I can use faces, surfaces, or planes for my new sketch. Currently, I don't have my planes visible, but you can make your planes visible. Let me show you how to do that. Select the plane, right-click, and select Visible from the drop-down menu. Easy enough. The same principle applies for sketches as well. Right-click and select Visible. And we see our first sketch. Next, let's go to a normal view by clicking on the right side of the view cube. I'm going to activate the Circle tool and create a circle right about here on my graphic area. Exit the sketch by clicking Return. Let's create another extrude now. We'll select this region right here. We make our necessary modifications and click OK. At this point, we of course need to save our part. Select File from the main menu and click Save. Now we specify the location and click Save. There's a couple more things I wanted to show you in this tutorial: the 3D Grip tool and the Move tool. Right-click on Extrusion 2. Select 3D Grip. Let's grab and drag this handle. That's how we can change the length of the extrusion. When you're done, simply right-click and select Done. Let's right-click now and select Move Feature. Now let's drag on one of the handles and we can reposition along the axis or the planes. We can also simply freely move it if we want to. And when I'm done, I click OK. And this concludes our introduction to Autodesk Inventor 2009.